Hey crafty babes, it's Andrea. I am so excited to show you the second half of my first traveler's notebook. I have already shared with you the first half, and I will link that video in the bottom description so if you want to go back and see that. And today we're going to go through the second half. I started this traveler's notebook around January 3rd or something, and it has basically become my obsession. I completely stopped doing my personal record keeping or my personal memory keeping in pocket pages. I used to do them in 6x8 pocket albums, and I've gone exclusively to using the traveler's notebook. So the format for me was a little intimidating when I first began seeing others use it, and then I just thought, let me just try, because everybody's pages looked so fresh and messy in a way and just free, and I was really looking for something like that. I was starting to feel like everything I did was in pockets, and even though that's kind of my thing and I feel really comfortable doing that, I was really ready to do something outside of that comfort box. So this is it. I am using a handmade notebook. This is just cardstock. And you know, cardstock inside, maybe not cardstock inside, but it's more of a just a plain, I think it's probably, feels like about an 80-pound weight paper, and it's super nice. This particular notebook was made for me by a friend, so I don't know the exact specs, but my next notebook that I'll share next time, once I get about halfway through, I will share that with you, and that is by Felicity Jane. Their notebooks are really clean. There's about, I don't know, I want to say like 2 centimeters shorter than this, but the paper inside is really creamy, smooth enough to feel really nice, but not smooth enough to where your pen will smear or anything like that. So really good quality. And then the covers, of course, are super Felicity Jane-ish, which are awesome. So anyway, this is a look inside the second half of this particular album. So we're going to start here. And this is a page here that did have something, but while I was working through some things, I decided I wanted to move that and make a 2-page spread out of it instead of having it face this. So this is a layout that I did for Gossamer Blue, and this is using just the printables that come with the subscription kit. So if you're a subscriber, you would get an email each month that includes links to some really awesome printables. So I used just those for one of my blog projects for them in the month of January. And then I did this to document when my mom came. She and my daddy live in Arizona, and they love the Southwest, and my mom loves cacti. She also loves pink. So this paper and some of these, actually I think everything from here came from some of the Gossamer Blue kits for January. And it was so perfect to be able to document this. My mom hasn't really been able to craft much with me since she had a stroke a couple of years ago, and when she came for Christmas, we recovered a big chair of mine, and that was something that was so special to me because we love doing projects together. We are crafty people, we are project people, and being able to plan something out and measure and, you know, work together is something that we absolutely love to do, and it was so nice to be able to do that with her again over Christmas time. So that's what I did here. A lot of layering and some washi always makes a page kind of perfect. This is the chair that we recovered actually, and I ended up saving a piece of the fabric with the what do you call the salvage edge, because it had all of the colors in it and I thought it was a really cool piece to be able to save. And I used all of this stuff basically here is from Felicity Jane, and probably a combination of the November and December kits. I can't recall exactly what if the paper was from November or December, but the flare is the black and white plaid, and I used some of my leftover black and white plaid from my curtains to make an extra pillow. So this chair here and the cushions used to be like this kind of like a light colored olive green. It was my mom's chair, and when they moved she gave it to me, and it's just been that way ever since. But you know, with kids and a dog, it's like it gets kind of rough looking and it didn't match. So I found this really pretty gray fabric for the base, and then a cute floral, which is here, for the two cushions, and then I made another pillow cushion there. But and I also had already recovered this red ottoman, so the three patterns and colors just really ended up working really well together. So one lesson I learned is that flare probably does not belong in a traveler's notebook because it's super thick, and in order to adhere it you kind of have to put like a you know, the foam tape, because just a glue that I have, I mean I just used glue sticks. I would probably need maybe something a little more strong than that, but I don't have that, so I used what I had. And you know, it makes the book really thick, and then it kind of makes the pages bend a little bit, so I don't think I'll use flare very often in my books, because then like if I were to have written here on this side it would have been really bumpy. So I'll have to consider that a little more carefully next time. And then I love their alphas. They're just super simple but bold enough to really make a statement for a good title, and they're the perfect size for traveler's notebooks. So super excited that I got to do this page. This is another page that I did for Gossamer Blue. This is from the February kits, and I had this photo of Marshall and I from like a summer and a half ago. It was like not last summer but the summer before that, and I just have been hanging on to a larger like it's already been scrapped in the week that it happened with a smaller photo, and I just had printed it in a larger size as well, just in case I wanted to use that, and I never had. So I trimmed kind of the sides of our faces off, which actually works really well, because I felt like, oh, I don't want to like cut off our ears, but it's like you're really not missing anything when you trim that, as long as, you know, I mean, our faces were close enough together that it really worked out. And then just a lot of layering, and using some stickers from Simple Stories and some die cuts from Fancy Pants Designs, just super cute colors. And then the X and the O are actually cut out of, there's a cardstock piece from Simple Stories that's just these big X's and big O's and all these different patterns. So I just picked two and then trimmed them, and that was really fun. This is a page, this is all using Sophie, which is the January kit from Felicity Jane. And the colors were just so pretty, very pastel and very girly. And so I was really excited to use it with this photo that kind of told a story about, you know, there's just days lately I don't feel very good about myself. And, you know, it's something I'm working through and trying to make different decisions so that I can feel better about myself. And it was just kind of a little note to myself. And what I loved is that note to self and the still smiling and the starting now, they're all part of the stamp set. So it really worked out. So I just used some pattern paper on the bottom, used this scallop piece to kind of create just a top half and a bottom half. And then I just put some things kind of inside underneath so that it looked like they were coming out of the, you know, coming out of the bottom there. And then I just used some of the puffy hearts up on top of these hand-drawn little hearts to add some color there. And this is a page. This was actually the photo that was on that other page that I tore off because I decided I wanted to make it a double page instead. So I gathered up a few fallish looking photos, and I used some green from the grass here and blue from my jeans to make, you know, more of a colorway. And then just found this, well, I found this meme a while ago, and it was kind of like right at this perfect time where I was feeling like I felt like there was some kind of change and transition happening with me creatively, and kind of just felt like that was something that I wanted to pin. So I pinned it when I found it on Pinterest, and then what I do when I know that I want to save or have them printed or included in my books, I will just download it. So you can just download the image, and then I end up just printing it with my normal photos for the week or the month or wherever it falls. And then that way I can use it, and I don't have to go back and go, oh, I thought there was this quote that I really liked. You know, it's just like you have it ready to go. So this is just kind of about feeling like when the leaves change, I kind of feel like I was needing a change too. So it's good to document those things, I think. Here is a page I really enjoyed doing. Again, Felicity Jane. I can't say enough about how fantastic the pattern paper is. It's very clean and graphic and simple, and it's really perfect for how I scrapbook. So it really works well. So thankfully I'm on the design team now, so that's really a good thing. I get to use their stuff a lot. So all of these pages were created before I joined the team. So I just happened to start falling in love with their kits, and really it's kind of a perfect fit because it really fits my style and where I want to go with my style. So I just did a bunch of layering with the colors just to document my wall being finished when I did this wall back in November. And yeah, so Marshall and I finished all of the Harry Potter movies, and I have never got into Harry Potter when it was out and kind of, you know, active. And he wasn't either, and neither was my older boy. Nobody kind of was interested in the story or anything, and we basically, because of that, we stayed really spoiler free. Like, we didn't really know much about the storyline at all, and so it was really fun to be able to watch those basically with a clean heart and a kind of like a clean eye. So it was basically the end of the series when I finally understood what this quote meant. Like, I've seen this, you know, and I just always thought it was something that the kids said between each other at some point, and turns out it wasn't. So I was very, very surprised, and really got to feel all of that when I watched it. And so I had to document that, of course, because I am now HP for life and totally love the story, and I'm actually reading the books now. Marshall read the first book in class with his class. His teacher read it to them, and they've started the book number 2. And so I'm hoping, because they're kind of slowing down on how much of it they're reading, I'm hoping that I can catch up. I'm hoping I can catch up and get to book 2, and then maybe the two of us can read book 3, and, you know, and so on. We can read those together. So this is just using a lot of different supplies that from my stash. So some things from like the recent Gossamer Blue planner kit, and some older gold things that I had, and like this, I had no clue that I had this. It was gold. It says always. I mean, it's like, it was just perfect. There was obviously a reason why I didn't use it before. And then I also found that I had this really fun buck print, which was awesome, because even though this is a doe, you know, the buck was such a huge part of the story. So that's that. And then, yep, the final page on here is a photo that I took, so I don't know, sometime back in December, and it was just me with my cute little red nails typing on Blanche, and I knew I wanted to document that somehow. And I had this idea with this typography and hand lettering that I knew I wanted to try to make this into some embroidery piece that I could make for myself. And while I still really want to, I was happy to be able to think, oh, well, maybe I'll just hand letter it in my notebook. And then just used a little scallop piece from Felicity Jane, and this is another piece from Felicity Jane's pattern paper. And then I just used the paper clip from the other side and just clipped this little ampersand here. And this is just a clear, I don't even remember where it came from, maybe like some ephemera pack or something from whenever. And I just used a couple of pieces of washi to adhere that down. And then I decided not to do anything on this back just because I could take, just a one sheet, because I do have a couple of templates, a couple of white pages that I cut out to be the same size as a side of this, so that if I don't have to be like working physically in my notebook, I can set the notebook aside and have my 2 pages and kind of lay stuff out and then adhere everything to the notebook. So I could, just take a piece and glue it here if I wanted to, but I kind of decided that this would just be the end, and started on a new notebook already. So that is all I have for you for volume 1 part 2. And I will obviously be sharing, because it's such a fun format. You guys, I know there's so many of you that are like, I have been on the Traveler's Notebook train for a long time. Girl, where have you been? And then there are others who are just now getting on that train. So I'm excited for everybody to just, whether it's comfortable for you or not, it's just kind of exciting to be able to try something new or be inspired by everybody. So that is all I have for you. I hope that you have enjoyed. Please make sure that you comment if you have any questions, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. We will talk soon. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.